The way I describe the gold market is that there tend to be two types of buyers: the trend followers or momentum players that follow the price, and then there are the accumulators that wait for pullbacks. It's always been my view that the Asians were more accumulators than trend followers, but to a certain extent, the fact that they've been following the price up, it's almost that they become trend followers as well.
I don't know. It may be this that they have an opinion of what's cheap. There's no doubt that the Indians in particular are accumulators. You've seen this amazing story about the temple in Travancore that's apparently got 600 or 700 tons of gold in its basement, and untouched for centuries. That's impressive. My impression of the Chinese market, though, is that there's more speculative action in China. China has not really been a significant factor in the world gold market, contrary to everything you read, until the latter part of last year. That's the first time that net Chinese imports became significant.
Prior to that, domestic demand was taken care of by domestic production.
Extraordinary growth in Chinese domestic gold production.
Yeah. I was just talking recently to Jim Rickards of Tangent Capital, and he was making the observation that, in his view, that these mines in China are being worked so hard that within a few years, domestic production within China is likely to fall off. What will that do to the gold price?
Well, obviously, it would be a tremendous boost. Chinese mine production is something on which it's very difficult to get any hard intelligence on, but the fact is it's expanded by double-digit amount for 13 or 14 years. Nothing like this has been seen anywhere else in the world. And on top of that, of course, the volume they're producing now is massively more than any other country produces. It's an amazing performance. I put it down primarily to the undervaluation of the Chinese currency. But no one seems to say that there's any huge new geological development in China. So it looks like what's happening is the Chinese are just working out the marginal deposits, just exactly as they would do in America if the gold price went up more. And if they are dealing with the usual kind of shallow, possibly surface deposits, this has been going on too long for these deposits to last.
Yeah.
So it may well be we'll see a decline. It is true in the last 2 or 3 quarters, expansion has dropped below double digits for the first time. It's an exciting situation.
Some people say that a revaluation of the Chinese yuan is inevitable. What would the impact on the gold price be, in your view, if that were to happen?
It has to be tremendous because...
tremendously positive.
Yes, and also on platinum, even more so on platinum, actually. But
because of the automobile component?
Well, the Chinese are the biggest jewelry buyers of platinum. So jewelry is a price-sensitive topic, and a big cut in the platinum price would help. But gold would certainly benefit a great deal. But there's another aspect to it too, of course. The Chinese currency went up. A lot of their mines that are currently profitable would become unprofitable because, in essence, the Chinese price of gold would go down. So not only would it stimulate domestic consumption of gold, but it would also strangle a lot of domestic production. And that's a very serious factor. It means we could have a swing of very substantial size in the net Chinese import, which until the beginning of last year was not significant. I mean, it was under 100 tons. In 2007, Vietnam imported more gold than China. But something strange happened in the latter part of last year. And I mean, I'm a tremendous skeptic about China. I think their entire relationship with the world is fraudulent. But the fact is that Chinese Shanghai Gold Exchange premiums towards the end of last year suddenly rocketed to double-digit levels, far more than is justified by the price the price you'd need to move gold. And this continued for about 6 or 8 weeks. Then we started to see stories that for the first time, huge physical shipments of gold to China were happening. So last year was a very dramatic shift in the world gold market. It's rooted in China, and one looks with great interest to see what the Lunar New Year celebrations do this year.
Yeah, well, it's quite amazing that the premiums, or the discount or premium, that stayed pretty close to the gold price. Who knows what's going to happen when the demand for seasonal factors actually kicks in?
Yes.
Is it possible that some people are anticipating higher gold prices and are buying now rather than buying in the fourth quarter, or is that unlikely?
In China?
In India? Or because of waiting for the monsoon to come in and the cash crops to be realized, they can't buy now?
I do feel that, I mean, the Indian fathers of brides vintage 2011-12 are stuck. They're going to have to buy gold for their daughters, otherwise their wives will beat them up. So they know they're going to have to buy. And these people think very carefully about the gold market, and many of them read your material and everybody else's material and think about it. And it's entirely possible that they're more tolerant to a higher price of gold this summer because they think it's going to go up in the fall.